The roots of abortion go all the way back to Margaret Sanger. She was known for her belief in the eugenic theory. Eugenics is the belief of cleansing society and ending up with this like superhuman race at the end, basically. Now, this may sound familiar because the Nazis also used this belief to form the Holocaust. We can also see this theory arising in the current theme of euthanasia. Margaret Sanger was the founder of Planned Parenthood, which is currently known for its popularity with birth control, and it is also the largest string of abortion clinics across the nation. Its original mission was to rid the planet of the black race. She herself, in her book, What Every Woman Should Know, that was published in 1920, says that blacks are just a step higher than the chimpanzee. So I think from that quote, we can definitely see her intent in her founding of abortion. Abortion is a growing epidemic and problem in our society. 1.3 million babies are aborted every year. And I want to compare that to every war that America has ever been in, which totals to 30. 1.3 million have died. I feel like from this we can conclude that it's more dangerous to be conceived in the womb than it is to be fighting for your country's freedoms on the front line. Washington, D.C. is our nation's capital and our nation's leader, but they lead our nation in the statistics of abortion. The most abortions are held in this small little province, I guess, of the United States every year than in any other state in the country. They should be leading us in the way of life, not death, not murder. Also, in the Declaration of Independence, we read that we have certain unalienable rights that can include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are also told to make a way for our posterity. And the word posterity actually means those who have yet to be born. I don't believe that killing these babies in the womb is making a way for them. Senator Hyde also said that all men are created equal. Human beings we are upon creation, not upon birth. It's an endowment, not an achievement. We have rights that cannot be voted away by a jury or court. Because of this, the Hyde Amendment was enacted into law in the 70s, which basically meant that federal funding was barred from funding abortions unless the case had to do with rape or incest. This mainly affects those on Medicaid and Medicare, but it is something that has been set into law. I believe that we have accomplished Margaret Sanger's general goal because for every 1,000 white pregnancies, we have 138 aborted. But for every 1,000 black pregnancies, there are 501 aborted. It's also important to take into account that the black population takes up 12% of the United States. That's not even close to the majority or close to half, but they account for 35% of the abortions. I don't say this to be racist, but I do say this to bring into light Margaret Sanger's original purpose and how it's being accomplished. Abortion has not only caused a heightened degree of the devaluing of human life, but it has also singled out certain minority groups in saying that they're unfit to live. I'm going to say something that not a lot of people will say. Abortion is murder. Taking away the human life is the definition of murder. As Christians, we know that babies are humans upon conception because of Psalm 139:13. For you created my innermost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. There are several other Bible verses that I could point to prove this point, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to put those aside and focus just on the scientific facts. Baby skeletons and nervous systems are fully formed at 20 weeks into the pregnancy, and most abortions occur after this 20-week mark. Because their nervous system is fully developed, we know that they do feel pain. There has been several instances, every instance that a doctor has seen the baby twitching and fidgeting and all that kind of stuff, letting us know that they do feel and they do have pain receptors. Also, they feel the pain more severely than that of adults for several different reasons, including their environment and the fact that it's new to their body. They don't know how to handle the pain. I want you to keep this in mind as I walk us through the methods of abortion. Next, we have dilation and evacuation. In this, the doctor goes in with tongs and rips the baby to pieces and then removes it one by one. Next is the saline solution, where the doctor inserts a needle into the mother's uterus and the baby swallows this salt solution and it burns the skin and lungs. Basically, this baby is burned from the inside out. Then the mother has to give birth to this burned and dead baby. There have been instances where the baby doesn't die, such as the Gianna Jessen case, which has become increasing in popularity in the past several years. Also, this is dangerous for the mother because if the needle is injected slightly wrong, the saline solution directly enters her bloodstream, causing immediate dehydration, seizures, and comas. Next, we have the chemical abortion. The doctor inserts a chemical and it causes increasing contractions. These contractions are much more violent than that of a regular birth, and that is how the baby is killed, by the force of the contractions. Obviously, this is much more painful for the mother than it needs to be. There have been instances, and I didn't put pictures on the slide because of the gruesomeness of it, but there have been instances where the baby's head has been decapitated, and there have been instances where the baby is still born alive, just bruised and beaten. Next is the partial birth abortion. Guided by an ultrasound technician, the doctor goes in and pulls the baby's leg from the birth canal, and then the mother delivers the baby until the head is left inside the womb. While the head is left inside, the doctor stabs the baby's head with scissors and then opens it up so that a vacuum can come in and suck the baby's brains out and leave the baby dead. Some may not care about the well-being of the baby, but they do care about what if the mother was raped or it was incest or what if she has a chance of dying. Rape and incest only account for 1% of all abortions. 1%. That's not close to half, that's not close to being the majority. That is 1%. In terms of maternal endangerment, the likelihood of death, because of the methods of medical stuff that we have today, is 0.05%. Planned Parenthood's own Dr. Allen acknowledged, today it is possible for almost any patient to be brought through pregnancy alive unless she suffers from a fatal illness such as a cancer or leukemia, and if so, abortion would be unlikely to prolong, much less save life. Also, former Surgeon General C. Everett Cooper said, in my 36 years in pediatric surgery, I have never known of one instance where the child had to be aborted to save the mother's life. I do not believe that maternal endangerment should be a valid excuse for terminating another pregnancy. But what if I don't care about the baby? What if I only care about me, or I only care about the mother? Women who've had abortions are at an increased chance for depression, anxiety, and suicide. Also, women if they want to eventually conceive again, it is twice as hard to get the pregnancy to stay, and it's 50% more likely that she will have a preterm birth. Preterm births have been linked to cerebral palsy. 38% of the time, the baby will end up with cerebral palsy. Breast cancer has also been linked back to abortions because the mother has artificially terminated her pregnancy, and she has all these hormones getting ready to be able to breastfeed her baby, and when the hormones and the chemicals get off kilter, it causes breast cancer. The cure, you may ask? 70% of women who get abortions are professing Christians, and 82% are not married. Having children outside of wedlock is obviously frowned upon in society, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be, but I am saying that we should be more quick to listen and less quick to judge. Society, this includes churches, schools, communities, businesses as a whole, that should support abstinence before the pregnancy happens. They should support birth control before the pregnancy happens. We should focus more on what to do before and after the pregnancy and not how to fix it during. After the pregnancy, for instance, I believe we should focus on adoption options and support group therapy and parental guidance classes. While I know these are available to the public, I do feel like they should be more readily available to people of all walks of life so that they know that this is an option and abortion isn't the only way. Jody Heiss said, the death of a baby should be a tragedy, not an industry, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. We are missing a whole generation of people to the abortion epidemic. Can you imagine a whole generation of doctors and lawyers and teachers and policemen, adventurers, dancers, singers, athletes? The former pro-life feminist said, women can rise to the challenge of an unintentional or even abnormal pregnancy if they have the emotional, financial, and professional support they need. Carrying and giving birth to an unplanned child will take self-sacrifice. There's no denying that. But women who have aborted and those who have merely lived during this long era of abortion have sacrificed far more. Thank you.